Well, here I am in Brazil, and we did spend a little time cleaning it up, but we're sitting right there at the end of the parking space is the Woodie. Last time I saw this car was in 2002, so it's been about slightly less than 10 years. It's now January 2nd, 2012, and this car has been stored under a cover and inside of the garage for about 8 of those 10 years, and the rest of the time it's spent here in this lot underneath my mother-in-law's apartment building under the cover that you see behind it there. So about 3 days ago we jumped the battery and got it started in about 10 minutes, and we had the cover off, and it was a little bit dusty, dirty, needed a good wash and wax. So we did that yesterday and started it up and drove it around a little bit today, but it's so hot here during midday, and this car of course does not have air conditioning, so it was quite a chore to drive it. So I parked it again, and we're going to take it out maybe early one morning and then in the evening, so we get a morning shoot and an evening shoot. But it's nice to make its acquaintance again. I built this car during the summer of 2002. I had brought the wood parts into Brazil, packed in a crate, along with anything else I might need to build it, which included, of course, the fiberglass roof and the 4 wide white wall tires, which are absolutely unavailable here. Oh, and also the hubcaps, which I picked up from Moon in Santa Fe Springs in about January of 2002. And then we found a nice rust-free desert origin 76 Brazilian Volkswagen, which is called a Fusca or a Fusquinha here, and that car became the donor. And if you look into the section in miniWOODIE's, or in the VW Woodies 2, the Yahoo group, you'll see a step-by-step sort of a pictorial, almost a how-to, on how that car was disassembled and modified to install the Woodie body. Now the interesting thing was, the hard part about doing the whole thing was not installing the wood body, but it was actually cleaning up the body that we had, which, although it was rust-free, it was loaded with dents. And we installed 2 new front fenders, new running boards, and the plastic rear fenders, which I had also brought from the United States. And then we had the seats reupholstered in leather, tan leather, which I brought with me, and sprayed them copper color lacquer to go along with the rest of the copper color that's in this thing, which is, believe it or not, that's not a Buick steering wheel. That is a VW steering wheel from Brazil. You can see underneath it let me open the door. You can see underneath it a Stuart Warner gas heater, an antique, that I had picked up at a swap meet somewhere. And if you follow Stuart Warner up, you can see how many 6 wiring harnesses leading to it, and it flips up actually. And inside, that was interesting, it hasn't been opened in a long time. Inside are, it's hard to see, but there's switches and burglar alarm system and the EQ for the stereo, and the switches are for different lighting functions. Let me just close that. And as you can see, everything's been redone in copper, urethane, and that's all in pretty good condition considering it was done nearly 10 years ago now. The wood is in good shape. It's a tropical hardwood, so it does not welcome termites, which are a big problem in this climate, in this area. And you can see the birch panels, all structural, birch ceiling structure. None of that has suffered any termite damage, which is good. On the other hand, if termites did get into it, and we've been careful about that, they would really wreak havoc. You can see the miniWOODIE name there on the rear seat cover, and there's of course a trunk behind there like there is in every Volkswagen. And we installed back then a Sony and Kenwood audio system, which has a subwoofer under the seat. I don't think this car has more than about 5 hours driving time since I've converted it. Let's see the front here. We've got some Kenwood speakers there, some more Kenwood speakers there. There's the Eberhard door locks dating from 1976, and then a typical VW winder handle. The Eberhard lock strikers, burglar alarm sensor, and everything else is just stock Volkswagen. For instruments, we've got a nice VDO tachometer, which is functional, and the original VW speedometer cluster, which shows 83,000 kilometers. I'm not sure if that's km or miles. I think it's miles. Yeah, it's miles. And it came off of a US car, a late model US car, because it has the integral gas gauge, whereas this car has, of course, the has no gas gauge and a filler under the trunk. Even a 76 VW in Brazil is not built to US safety standards. And you look next to there, you can see that little blinking light, and that's the burglar alarm light. And then we have a group of 1970s Stewart Warner stage 3 gauges for amps, oil pressure, and oil temperature in the middle. And then wipers and an ashtray and headlight switch. That's a zebra wood dashboard. And there's a key in here. Isn't that interesting? I wonder if that's a key to the actual lock. The ignition lock. Do you think that's gonna fit? It looks old. No, it does not fit. Don't know where that came from. Weird. Maybe it was the original door lock. Of course, we've replaced the doors. And the carpeting is real nice acrylic pile. You can't see much of it. Let me move around here. Acrylic pile. And it's been serged around all the edges. Every detail's been really well done on this car, because when I did it, I had all the time in the world, so I spent an entire summer building this. As you can see, we sealed all the doors. Everything's been weather stripped, and that weather stripping's 10 years old. Thank you 3M for making such a good cement. All of this stuff was available in stores around town. Close it. There we go. Nice and solid. And we've done some perforating on the fenders to kind of go along with the flame job here. And the only place where it's showing any rust from 10 years of storage is right along the edge of this perforation, probably because this side was uncovered or turned toward the rain and the elements. You can see we've hand pinstriped the flames all the way around. It's got the so-called California style turn signals. Those are Brazilian Corello headlights. They do work, of course. Now we'll walk around. I had a set of these mirrors, and the paint's flaked off of them because they were stainless, and it has been 10 years, but basically the rest of it's in pretty good shape. The rear, let's see, the rear skirts, which are removable, and that's one side. That's the passenger or right-hand side. You can see the perforations allowing the tire to show through. And believe it or not, these are backlit at night, so you get a little bit of a lighting effect. And then we'll go around the other side, and you can see that the pattern on the other side is completely different. I did this deliberately. Of course I can make things symmetrical, but let's do something a little crazier and make it asymmetrical. Huh? And you can also see the sunken antenna here. Move that out of the way. We Frenched an antenna in, and I pinstriped the area around it. Model A taillights, stainless, glass lenses. There's the Brazilian license plate, the vents for the VW motor, backup lights in back, and the back bumper is black, although the front one is painted to match the flame job. Window folds up. I'll lower this antenna again. And the fiberglass roof is in pretty good shape. A couple of ripples and stuff, but it was made in 1975 or 6. It's quite old. And the visor, which has 3 pieces. It's got the side pieces, which are the same texture and color as the roof, and then the top, running all the way across, is a very shiny black urethane to match the rest of the car, and it all bolts together with stainless steel bolts. The patterns for this sun visor were taken from my 49 Mercury Woody, which I had in the 70s and then modified to fit a Volkswagen. You also have kind of, I think it's a rare, I don't know, it's a very early Wolfsburg crest on the hood there. That's pretty much it until I get around to driving it. We'll start it up and we'll get it rolling in a day or two. I want to shoot it during the day and during the night. That's it for now.